We recently hit 100 episodes of the $1 Million Days podcast. 100 conversations, 2 years, every single week, never missed a week. And honestly, I thought it was going to be way easier than it actually was. I remember thinking we'd be in the top charts by episode 30. Like sponsors calling, viral clips everywhere, the whole thing, can't walk down the street. But the reality, very different. This podcast has taught me way more than I thought it would. So in this video, I'm going to break down the 10 biggest lessons I've learned after recording 100 episodes. It's not just about podcasting, it's about business, about consistency, about what it actually takes to build something meaningful. If you're new to the channel, my name's Robbie Tucker. I co-founded 2 agencies where we help people generate leads and create content. Let's get into it. So, lesson number 1, it's a long game, like really, really long. In the beginning, I thought by episode 30, we're going to blow up, and I genuinely believed it. I genuinely believed it, and I think I had to, because I feel like if you didn't believe it at the start and you knew how long it was going to be before you kicked off, you would have never kicked off. I thought we'd be in the top 10 charts. I thought people would be sharing our stuff. We'll be everywhere. But here's what actually happened. The first 50 episodes felt like we were talking to a void. Like, genuinely. We put out all these episodes, we thought we're on fire, and you're getting feedback from the people who know you, but apart from that, you don't really notice any real traction from it. Then, I reckon somewhere about after a year in, people started quoting things back to us. They'd come to us at events and reference specific episodes. You know, oh yeah, when you spoke about this, that's when it really clicked. And I was like, this thing compounds slowly. You don't notice the momentum until you look back. I saw this post the other day from Chris Williamson from Modern Wisdom. And after 3 months of weekly episodes, he had 3 total plays across his entire catalog. 3 views. I think it was 12 episodes in. 3. Today, Modern Wisdom has over 1 billion plays, and they've recently ticked over 1,000 episodes. And same thing from Stephen Bartlett from the Diary of a CEO. Their first 3 years, they had minimum downloads, and the last 3 or 4 years, they've gained 95% of their subscribers. The bigger the plane, the longer the runway. That's just how it works. So if you're building something right now and it feels like nothing's happening, that's normal. The long game rewards the people who stay long enough to deserve it. Lesson number 2, you're not always going to feel like doing it. There have been days I didn't want to record. Days where we had client calls, event deadlines, life stuff happening, days where sitting down and record a podcast just wasn't a priority. But here's the thing. Showing up when you don't feel like it is where the muscle builds. Showing up when you know most other people won't, that's what makes differences. Discipline isn't sexy. It's not the motivational thing you see in the videos. It's just doing the thing you really don't want to. And some of our best episodes, recorded on the days where I least wanted to. And I can recall walking out of episodes feeling better than I felt when I walked in. That's something business and fitness have in common, right? Like consistency compounds, even when the energy doesn't, even when you don't feel like it. The people who win aren't the ones who feel motivated all the time. They're the ones who show up regardless. Lesson number 3. The third lesson is that this thing forces you to grow. Like you're going to grow from it whether you want to or not. You think a podcast is about sharing ideas, and it is. But really, it's about sharpening them. Right? Every week you hear yourself, literally. That reflection changes you. You start catching filler words, you notice when you're waffling, you see where you hesitate, you realize when you don't actually know what you're talking about. It's a mirror. And if you do it long enough, it forces growth. Not just as a communicator, but as a thinker. I've had to process my thoughts in real time on air. I've had to defend positions I didn't even know I held. I've had to admit when I was wrong. And that's uncomfortable, but it's also how you become better. The podcast has made me a better business owner, a better communicator, and a better human. And you don't even realize what's happening until you look back. Lesson number 4, not every episode will hit, and that's okay. Not every episode's going to be an absolute banger, and you've got to be okay with that. Some episodes are going to blow up, others will die quietly in the feed, and you can't predict which ones are going to resonate. Sometimes the episode you think is average gets messages for weeks, and then the one you're super proud of and you think is going to crush barely moves the needle. You can't let metrics decide your momentum, but you should make your future decisions based on those metrics. Your job is to show up, put it out, reflect, and learn from it, and keep moving forward. That's how you stack 100 episodes. You just keep going. Because at the end of the day, someone somewhere is going to get some level of value from that episode. And even if it doesn't show up in the numbers, they got what they needed, and that's what matters. You need to keep going. Which leads me into lesson number 5, which is consistency beats perfection every single time. Early on, I'd overthink everything. The lighting, the camera angle, the title, the thumbnails, the intro, the music, like everything. And the truth is, whilst the details matter, no one cares about it being perfect. They care about the realness. They care about what's being said in the episode, the stories, the connection. There have been times where I've thought about not releasing an episode or missing a week just because something wasn't quite right, or a camera angle wasn't set correctly, or the lighting was bad, or whatever it might be, right? The people who win aren't the ones who try and make every single episode perfect every single time. The people who win are the ones who press publish instead of trying to sit there and polish forever. So the more you post, the faster you learn. We know this, right? The faster you get data back, the faster you can iterate. Episode 1, looking back now, felt good at the time. Looking back now, rough. Episode 50, way better. Episode 100, way better, right? But if I'd waited until I was ready to start, or if I'd waited until we're at the level that we're at now, we probably would have never started. So we show up, we push record, and we go every single time. Lesson number 6, guests are a double-edged sword. Let me explain. Guests can be incredible, but they're also a double-edged sword because booking guests is very, very difficult, right? I mean, the upside of having a guest is super obvious. You get introduced to a new audience, you have conversations you wouldn't have had otherwise, you probably get introduced to people you wouldn't have otherwise had the opportunity to meet, and you bring a fresh perspective to your listeners. But the effort behind booking guests is brutal. You're chasing people down, you're coordinating calendars, you're following up 3, 4, 5 times, you're dealing with cancellations, reschedules, and then when you finally get them locked in, there's the pre-interview prep. You can't just show up. It's a whole operation. And ideally, like in a perfect world, you want to have a dedicated individual for this. Or if this is your full-time thing, you want to dedicate your time towards doing this. We've had some phenomenal guests on the show. People have brought insights we never could have had on our own, and those episodes opened us up to whole new audiences. But we've also had weeks where we just press record, and George and I talk. No coordination, no chasing, just raw conversations. Both have their place. Guests can grow your reach, solo episodes keep you consistent, but you've got to find a balance. I think having the opportunity to not need a guest every time has been super, super, super helpful. Lesson number 7, focus on what actually moves the needle. Not what's shiny, not the new tool. Focus on what's actually allowing you to progress towards your goals. For a while, we kept adding new things, new segments, new ideas, new strategies, tried to optimize everything, but the truth was simple. The things that moved the needle were the conversations, the clips, and the people who shared them. In other words, do more of what works, not more of what's new. This applies to business too, right? People get distracted by the latest tactic or the latest AI tool or the latest platform and stop doing what's already been working. The fundamentals rarely change. Good conversations, good content, showing up consistently. That's what's worked so far, and that's what I believe will continue to work. The 8th lesson, this one's brutal. The cheers stop after episode 10. At the start, everyone's hyping you up. Love the podcast. Can't wait to listen. So proud of you guys. I saw the latest episode, and then people move on with their lives. Silence, right? And by episode 10, comments have dropped off, no one's reaching out, and you start to feel like no one actually cares. And that's when you find out if you actually love the game. Because once the validation fades, the only thing left is the work. That's the difference between creators and hobbyists. That's the reason why most podcasts don't get past episode 20. Hobbyists need the applause. Creators just create. If you're doing this for external validation, you'll quit before episode 20. But if you're doing it because you genuinely believe in what you're building, you'll make it to 100 and beyond. Lesson number 9, being on camera all the time builds self-awareness. It's confronting. You see yourself every week. You see everything. The nervous tics, the filler words, every single bad habit, the way you touch yourself, hold yourself, whether you've put on weight or lost weight, whether you're well-groomed or you look like a mess, whether you look like you haven't slept in 9 weeks. But that's the beauty of it too, right? It forces you to face yourself, literally. You learn how you think, how you communicate. You get to see how people see you, how you show up under pressure. I've caught myself doing things I didn't even know I did, or saying, you know what I mean, 50 times in an episode, avoiding certain topics, rambling when I'm uncertain, and the mic humbles you before it builds you. But if you lean into the discomfort, you become better, not just on camera, but in real life too. And last but not least, number 10, possibly the most important one, the podcast becomes therapy disguised as content. So somewhere along the way, this stopped being content creation and started being self-discovery. The best conversations happen when you're not trying to impress anyone and you're just being honest, like you're being true to who you really are. You end up saying things you didn't even know you believed until you heard them out loud. I've processed more on the podcast than I have in years of thinking privately. It's therapy. It's just got better lighting and cameras. I feel like people resonate with authenticity more than any polished, planned out content. And that's why most of the content we put out isn't planned out. It's kind of off the cuff. We know what we're going to talk about and then we just talk. So those are the 10 key things that recording 100 episodes of our podcast has taught me. 100 episodes in, I've realized this. Whilst you build the podcast builds you too. If you think about starting something, a podcast, a business, a YouTube channel, stop thinking, just start. Because the best time to start was 100 episodes ago. Second best time, right now. So if this resonated with you, hit that subscribe button. I share business strategies and insights every week that can help you build the life you actually want. I also share all my knowledge for business owners inside our online community. It's going to be linked below. It's called the CMO Playbook. We show you how to get results in your business through lead generation and content creation, and it's 100% free. Thanks for watching, and remember, the only thing standing between you and where you want to go is you. So, what are you waiting for? Can make it happen.